Once upon a time, there was a girl named Nora. One day, Nora was walking down the stairs after brushing her hair and brushing her teeth and eating breakfast, and she was just about to grab her backpack and head off to school when she heard a voice coming from the other room.
Nora, come and play with me.
Nora said, "What is that?" She walked over to the playroom and she heard it again.
Nora, play with me.
She was trying to figure out, what is that noise and where did it come from? And then she saw it. It was one of her brother's toy trucks, the cement truck. It pulled right up to her and said,
Nora, play with me.
And Nora looked down and said, "Oh, hello, what's your name?" And the truck replied,
Mixy. Now hurry up and play with me. How long are you gonna keep me waiting, Nora? Hurry up.
Nora said, "Well, I'm sorry, Mixy, but I need to get going to school. My mom and brother are waiting for me out in the car right now." And Mixy said,
I don't care about them. Now hurry up and play with me. Come on, what am I supposed to do all day if you don't play with me? Hurry up.
And then all of a sudden, one of Luke's other toy trucks drove out from behind the chair. And this one was a dump truck. And the dump truck said, "Hey, Nora, I'm so sorry about Mixy. He sure is rude sometimes, isn't he? You can just go on off to school, Nora. Don't you worry about him. He can really be mean sometimes. He's even mean to me. And I sure don't want to hear him being mean to you." Nora said, "Well, okay, if you say so. What's your name, dump truck?" And he said, "My name is Dumpy. Pleased to meet you, ma'am." And then Mixy said,
Dumpy, get out of here. Nobody wants you here. I want Nora to play with me. Come on, Nora. What are you waiting for?
"Come on, Mixy, don't be mean to Nora. She didn't do nothing wrong. She's just trying to get herself ready for school. I'm so sorry, Nora. Where are his manners?" And then Nora said, "It's okay, Dumpy. It's not your fault." And then Nora remembered today was show and tell day at school. This was a day when Nora could bring any one of the toys from her house to her class and then tell her friends all about it. And then Nora said, "Hey, Dumpy, do you want to come to school with me today?" "Are you serious, Nora? Out of all the wonderful toys you have in this house, you want me to come to school with you? That would be so cool, Nora. Thanks for thinking of me." And then Mixy interrupted and said,
Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me, Nora. I'm the one you want to take to school. Pick me. Pick me.
And then Dumpy said, "Are you sure you don't want to take Mixy? I know he sure wants to go too." And then Nora said, "I know, Dumpy, but Mixy's being so mean and you're just so nice. I want you to come with me." And then Dumpy said, "Oh, hooray, I can't believe it. This is going to be so much fun." But then Mixy started getting even more angry. And then he drove up to Nora and rammed her in the ankle. And Nora said, "Ow, stop that, Mixy."
Nora, you better bring me to school or else.
And Dumpy said, "Oh, no, you don't, Mixy. Nora's our girl. You need to be nice to her." And then Dumpy sped up as fast as he could from the other side of the room. And then he went and rammed Mixy from the side. And Mixy went flying across the room yelling, "Ah!" And then Nora said, "That's it. Come on, Dumpy. I'm going to school and you're coming with me." And she picked up Dumpy and threw him in her backpack and jumped in the car. When they finally arrived at school, she ran to her locker, hung up her coat and backpack, pulled Dumpy out of her backpack, and ran to her class. And when she went to go sit next to her friend Hadley, she saw that Hadley had brought a truck for show and tell too. But this was a pink truck instead of a yellow one like Dumpy. And Hadley said, "Hey, look what I brought, Nora." And Nora said, "Oh, cool. I brought a truck too." And she picked up Dumpy and put him on the table. And then Dumpy saw Hadley's truck, and then they started to talk to each other. And Dumpy said, "Oh, hello there, ma'am. My name is Dumpy. What's your name, little lady?" And the pink truck said, "Well, hello there, Dumpy. My name is Jessica." "Well, I am so pleased to meet your acquaintance, Jessica. What is it you like to do for fun?" And Jessica said, "Well, I like to drive around with my girl and pick up horses and drive them across the room." And before Dumpy could even respond, both the trucks and Hadley and Nora heard a horrible noise of somebody yelling in the class.
"No playing with toys in class."
The four of them looked up, and saw that there was a substitute teacher in class this morning. And this was not a nice substitute teacher. They had never seen him before, and he looked really, really mean. When he saw that Nora and Hadley were playing with their trucks, he walked over to their desk and picked up both trucks and he put them in a box behind his desk. Oh no! Her toys were gonna get scared without their kids. And Jessica was terrified being put in a box behind the teacher's desk, but luckily, Dumpy was right there beside her. Don't you worry there, little lady. I'm gonna be right here to keep you company and to make sure we're okay. Don't you be afraid. And Jessica said, oh, thank you so much, Dumpy. I was so scared, but you're helping me feel better. And then suddenly, the teacher heard the voices from both trucks coming from the box under his desk. He pulled out that box and yelled,
What's all this racket?
and he pulled both the trucks out and he threw them out of his window, right into the grass outside their classroom. Nora and Hadley both screamed. They couldn't believe how horrible this substitute teacher was being, but they couldn't leave their seats until recess. And so they both sat there and just watched the clock as the seconds and the minutes ticked by, and they wondered to themselves how their toys were doing. After all, these weren't just any toys. They were real living things with feelings. Boy, they sure hoped those trucks were okay. And at recess time, they grabbed their coats and headed out the door. And the first thing they noticed was that all the kids were crowded around this one section of the playground. Well, what was going on over there? The two girls walked over, and then they noticed why everyone was gathered around one place. There was a huge yellow dump truck, and then another huge pink truck right next to it. And they looked just like Dumpy and Jessica, but they were huge. They were like the size of two real construction vehicles. And as they got closer, all the kids were stunned when they heard the yellow dump truck start talking to Nora.
Hi, Nora, look what happened to us. We grew.
Nora couldn't believe her eyes. It was crazy enough that her brother's toy truck had been talking to her all day, but now he wasn't just talking to her, he was a real truck, and so was Hadley's truck. Dumpy? What happened here? How did you turn into a real truck? And then they both saw Nora's brother Luke pop his head over the steering wheel and look out at them. Luke? Said Nora. What are you doing up there? And Dumpy said,
Well, you see, Luke actually has a magic wand. He just used his wand to turn me into a full-size truck. Right, Luke?
and Luke nodded his head.
I'm not sure how I'm gonna fit back in your toy box when we get home.
And then all the kids on the playground froze when they heard that familiar and horrible voice coming from the entrance to the school.
What is going on here?
They all turned and they saw the mean substitute teacher, but they noticed he was holding something in his hand that looked something like a laser blaster. And that's when they realized this wasn't actually a substitute teacher. In fact, this wasn't even a human at all. This was an alien from outer space who had traveled from a planet far away to visit Earth. And he came to Earth with one mission. And he didn't just end up in that classroom by accident that day. He knew about the magical talking toy trucks and how they got their ability to speak. You see, he knew all about Luke's magic wand, and he came to the school to get that wand from him. Nora and Hadley looked at each other. Both of them knew something horrible was about to happen. But that's a story for another day.